when it hurts like this. We climb the greatest heights, jump down and have a fight, and that's all we'll ever like. But that can never change my mind. When it's good, it's amazing. When it's bad, it's uneasy. I wouldn't have it another way. There's no other way. Yeah. When it hurts like this, ever like, greatest, ever like, ever like, ever like, greatest, ever like. When it hurts like this, ever like, ever like, ever like, ever like, ever like, when it hurts like this. We hold each other high.
And remember, I was talking about cohesion. It's about two bits of acrylic paint, dry acrylic paint that touch together. Now, this is dry paint, right? It's dry. That's dry paint. And we're going to press it together. You see how that sticks? Now, if I were to, so let's look at this bit here. If I was to leave that together for a little while, we wouldn't be able to get that apart without ripping it, because it's called cohesion. And that's what happens when you get two doors and you paint the external doors or windows with gloss acrylic, and then you close them and you won't be able to get them open. So in saying that, what I've done is I've actually just finished these doors. So these doors here are finished. Now, I didn't end up stripping them back. Bit of a shame. You can see where I've actually stripped it back. Beautiful. And then the other areas where I haven't stripped it back, it's just pretty ordinary. So the problem we're going to have here is when these two edges here touch. Rightio, so they're actually not touching, so we're pretty lucky. That's not too bad. But we could also have the same issue here if those areas were touching, which they're not, so I'm happy about that. But we could have some problem here. Now what can happen is it sticks that bad that will actually pull the paint off. It will pull the paint off and it will pull the timber off. That's how strong it sticks. But now that's those doors, and that's how they've come up. It's a little bit bright here because it's in the afternoon, well, it's lunchtime. And so all this is finished now. Now, has it been a worthwhile job? Yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's brought back memories to me. You know, the stain there has not come back out. Now it's been a week, actually probably about 10 days, and we don't have a stain that's come out. So that tannin stain has been stopped by 2 coats of Weather Shield Low Sheen. And you know how black that hardwood timber was. It was horrible. So not bad at all. Look at that. Pretty good. I did put the 3rd coat on the flats, but you know, like that one there probably didn't have a 3rd coat. You can see very slightly. You have to look very hard to see it. But that's all finished. The doors are finished. I've done the touch-up cans, so they're all done for them, and I've put a magnet in there as well. I'll just cover up my details. So that's me, the painter. Now they're so happy with this that they actually paid before it was finished. I did a 50% draw halfway through, which is in my contract, and I say to them, instead, I actually don't take a deposit on these houses. I just do a 50% draw halfway through, 50%, and I just invoice them 50%, and they pay that and then basically it's not so hard to get that last 50% off them. Now we'll just go through the house. Now I'm just going to blow off this veranda. It's still got a little bit of dust there. I've painted that pipe in. Now I've used a colour there. I did do it in a very light tan, looked crappy, so I end up bringing out a colour that we use for stained timber. So all these verandas are finished. I've just got to pull those trestles down. There's only 2 trestles left and they own them, and that's my plank. So that's her. And I'll see if I'll find a video just to compare it with. But that's it. And then things like this start to show up that you don't see. You know, where it's starting to peel. I mean, I can't fix everything, so I've got to stop. I've got to stop at a certain point. But that's up nice and close for you. It's all very nice. It's all very good. It's all nice. Now she has asked me about a yellow stain that is around here. It's the sunlight burn basically. I don't know if you can see it, which is where the sun's hit it. There's nothing much you can do about that. Sand it down and paint the bloody thing, I reckon. This project has taken me 1 day extra, so it's taken me 11 days. A bit disappointed in myself, but nobody else could have done it that fast, I don't believe, when you're working by yourself. So I think it's come along pretty good. Now, next time I do one of these, I'll be, you know, you learn every time you do a house, you learn things. And this looked quite stable, this paintwork, but it wasn't stable at all. It was just falling off. And you can't exactly just pull a grinder out and hit it in front of a customer when you're doing a quote, can you? But you could put a clause in there saying that if it's not stable, it's extra. But chances are you're not going to get the job. So that's something that you have to think about as well. You have to take a risk. I mean, 1 day on this house isn't that bad, 1 day out. And, you know, I've still made quite good money out of this house. I've got done my rafters in my 3 days, actually 2.5 days. I just finished all these rafters in. So there was a bit extra time available there. And, yeah, so that's pretty good. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate your comments. I do appreciate new subscribers. I do appreciate everything you do. And I try to be honest with what I show. I can't show everything, obviously. But, yeah, and I don't want to be boring. I don't want to be boring for you. So, you know, I'm a bit disappointed in these doors that they didn't strip them back, because that would have been a nice little video for you. But still, it's all good. I'm happy. Thanks very much for watching, and we shall catch you down the track. See you on the next project. Bye.
But we fall 1,000 times, but I'd never say goodbye or ever leave this stuff behind. When it's good, it's amazing. When it's bad, it's uneasy. I wouldn't have it another way. There's no other way, yeah. When it hurts like this, ever like ever like, ever like, ever like, ever like, ever like, when it hurts like this, ever like, ever like, ever like, ever like, ever like, when it hurts like this.
Now the reason why we gap this is to stop any water moisture getting in and creating a peel that starts to happen later on. Even though it's going to go way beyond the warranty that I provide, this will still be looking good in probably 10 years time, except where the paint underneath starts to let go.